Hi YouTube, it's Dawn, and today I have my hair up, so I look a little different, but I'm just a little lazy today, so bear with me. Anyways, the bangs. Trying to figure out if I should grow my hair, cut my hair, what should I do? My husband has just said to me that he likes my hair long, which after years and years of asking, do you like short hair? Do you like my hair longer? What color do you like it? He's finally told me. So I'm trying to get past this awkward stage right now. But anyways, here I am again. And so I decided to do that series of what I've learned about myself or things I've learned about life after weight loss surgery. And this time, it's hard for me to go through a list. I made a list and I keep changing it all the time because there's so many different things. One thing that I've learned is that you have to give yourself credit for things that you do right and try not to beat yourself up over things that you do wrong because stuff's going to happen. And part of that is your self-image may go through a whole lot of changes throughout your journey. And your personality may change. I mean, sometimes people say, well, I'm still the same person after having surgery, but you know what? Chances are that you're not the same person in every way. For me, I certainly don't put up with as much crap as I used to put up with from people around me. I say things that I mean more often. I'm more self-assertive that way. I'm not as afraid to stand up in front of people and talk. I would never have dreamed prior to surgery that I would stand up in front of a support group of, anywhere between 50 and 125 people every month and talk. That was not me. I mean, I was horrified if I had to stand up in front of 10 people. So my personality changed that way, that I'm not as insecure with saying what I need to say or talking in front of people. But it doesn't mean that it made me totally self-assured either. I'm still very awkward at a party or a social gathering when I don't know people. I still am not smiling and as confident as I should be in a lot of situations. I certainly don't put up with as much crap in my life. This year I spent the year kind of going through relationships that were in my life and things I was doing and kind of got rid of some baggage that I really didn't need. And realizing how one-sided some relationships in my life were in terms of friends. And so I kind of said, I'm not going to put up with it anymore. I'm going to start doing things for me. I think that also actually goes with age because I'm 42 and now I'm just getting to the point, much like my mother, that, you know what, I don't need it. I'd rather not have a friendship at all or not have friends than have to have friends that, are using me or relationships that are one-sided. So, I think I've stood up for myself in a lot of ways after surgery. And I'm certainly finding that confidence level. Now, I will tell you, with the weight loss of my first year, my confidence went sky high. My first year, it was just awesome. Walking past windows of shops and going in front of mirrors was the most exhilarating thing. I remember going to Sears once and doing some clothes shopping. And I brought 10 shirts into the dressing room, and guess what? All 10 shirts looked like really awesome, and I just thought, like, my God, shopping is so much fun, and it's so easy, and everything looks good on my body, and it's wonderful, and that just blew my self-esteem through the roof. And at that 1 year mark, I was just sky high. But then, if you were listening to my other video, I talked about that 1 year and a half, 2 year mark where I started to struggle and started having some of that bounce back. And I mean, it's normal. If you read the statistics on regain, it's pretty darn normal. About 1.5 years out, you have your lowest weight for most people. For some people, maybe longer, but usually for most people, the nadir or the lowest weight is at 1.5 year to 2 years out. And then, some pounds kind of sort of creep in for most people. Not everyone. Some people, work their butts off at that time and get it under control. But a lot of people, the bounce back occurs. So once I started to have that bounce back and the scale started to go up, my self-esteem started to go down. So, it's not all up, 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 up. It's like a roller coaster for the rest of your life. To me, in a lot of ways, it's mentally a roller coaster. And although I still was much more of an extrovert than I ever was, I'm still not one who feels comfortable approaching people or discussing things, especially when they're serious matters. Or I don't make a point of having conflict in my life, and I like to have just peace, and I try too much to be a peacemaker sometimes, which can be a flaw in myself. But I'm definitely noticing that, my self-esteem is better in a lot of ways, and then it's not perfect either. So throughout your journey, you may find that your self-esteem goes up and down, and a lot of people find that their relationships change because of the dynamic about changing yourself. And for me, my husband, my first year out, I was doing everything. I was doing floor hockey, swimming, coaching basketball. I was going out with a walking team every night. I was rarely home. And I was being far more active than I ever was, social, had lots of friends, going out. And it was hard for my husband, because he's seeing this person that used to be at home and used to really hate going to parties and hate going to social events, because I was always so insecure about myself. And then all of a sudden I'm like the queen bee, and I'm going out and making plans all the time, and then, honey, I'm not home tonight, and I'm not home tomorrow night, and whatever. And so, it was kind of tough for a while, and my husband had to really adapt to that. Unfortunately, a lot of relationships change because of that. And because your self-esteem, is tied in to so many parts of a relationship, you may find that some of your relationships change for the good or for the bad. I mean, I've certainly heard a lot of people that have talked about friends that they were with, and they were kind of the token fat friend or whatever. And once people started hitting on them at bars when they went out with their girlfriends, their friendship started to decline, because there was always a certain role for everybody in a relationship, and the roles were changing. And I've certainly talked to people whose even their siblings got jealous. Or I had a friend whose daughter was also overweight, and when she had her surgery and was getting smaller than her daughter, that really impacted the relationship. So it's a hard thing, the relationship aspect, and you may find your personality changes, and it may be for the good, and sometimes it's not so good, and sometimes you have to step back and say, what do I need to change, or maybe what do I need to re-examine. There's this phenomenon I call food superiority after around the first year, or even before the first year, when you're eating those small portions and you look at other people's plate and you're kind of disgusted with what they're eating, especially if you know people that are larger than you or also obese. There kind of gets to be a lot of judgment sometimes. And I mean, in my brain, I was doing the same thing, and most of us do it too, saying, oh my God, like, they're eating so much. Like, that's so disgusting. And they went back for seconds, and they went back for thirds. And it's a hard thing not to do, because you are eating so small of a portion. And I found myself doing that. And then eventually I had to put in my brain and say, hey, you got to get this in your brain that, you had surgery. That's why you're not eating like they are, because you have, you have something that's prohibiting that. So, and then you say, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I guess I got to stop judging others. And there's that comparison thing coming back right at you. So anyways, you're probably going to see some changes as you go through your surgery. And I did. And most of them were awesome. A few were a little bit trying. But most of all, I realized what I know I deserve in life and what I had, and that I needed to fix some things and make some adjustments in my life so that I got what I deserved out of my friendships and relationships. And I wish you all the best in dealing with that with your surgery. So that's it for number 2. Thank you. Bye.